Hello everybody. In this video we're going to be talking about Palladium. We're going to be going through an article on the reasons why Palladium is rapidly increasing and the supply shortages. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, hey, don't be shy. I talk about commodities from time to time. I will also talk a lot about cannabis companies and just the whole industry as a whole group as an investment opportunity. So that interests you. You can watch any video. I do lots of playlists. I have playlists all over the place, from extractions to commodities, just a budget information. So, I cover a lot of things. I've covered it. I mean, not a lot of people have watched my videos over the years, but some of my views in some of my newer videos in certain topics are, really growing. But anyways, I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about. Buy or sell after you do your own research, due diligence, and you like the investments you're pursuing. So these are my earliest videos. These are my first video I did, the compound interest stock guy, and then price of copper, and rare metal, and platinum, palladium. So my first three ideas as far as investments go, if I would have put, say, 30% into the best company, Freeport McMoran, and then I would have bought the rest in rhodium, say like 30% in rhodium, and then 15% in platinum and palladium for that time, I'd be doing pretty good. And these like a year ago isn't really like that real, because if you look at the date, February 1, right? So this was just shy of 2 years, right? Those were my first videos. Like for example, this was my first July 27th, which was, I guess, wasn't the first video, but what was this dated? January 30th was my first video. So that's when I came about and I started making videos. But it's just interesting that rhodium from that time ago, it was about $1,500-$1,600. Now it's about $10,000 per ounce, and it's like almost 7 times higher than gold. And palladium back then was somewhere around like $1,200 or $1,300 at most, and now it's at $2,300, $2,400, right? And platinum was somewhere probably around like $950, $980, and now it's like $1,000. So the rhodium in the portfolio, if I would have just bought all these ideas, right, they'd be doing pretty good as far as commodities. I mean, you probably wouldn't do anything better. I'd be pretty hard to beat that as far as investing into those in the last couple of years as far as capital gains. So that's pretty cool. Just wanted to share that. But now we're going to get into the chart. So this is the chart without palladium. So it hit here, and then it just consolidated. Now it's coming up. This is on the daily. So they're saying it's bearish, but I'm not really buying it. I think there's a lot more bull movements, and I'll get into the reasons why in the articles. So I use lots of different resources. I'm not I don't think I know everything. I think it'd be really an imbecile statement to say that like I don't watch other people or learn from other people to get my information, because there's people that are way smarter than me in different areas. There's people that are in so many different areas, so I can learn from other people. But then there's people that can't like understand nearly like anything that I can. It's like I'm on such a higher level in other things like numbers or just like the cannabis industry for knowledge and stuff as far as companies go. But I don't move the markets. I don't got billions of dollars, and I don't got buddies that got millions and millions of dollars to move markets. But hey, maybe in time, maybe I'll have a hedge fund in time, right? When I get notice, people are like, fuck, we want to have this guy on our team, and then they'll like promote me to the CEO of this hedge fund. So who knows? And then it'll be like cocaine and hookers. So that's what they do on Wall Street. So I'm just joking around. So okay, this is guy. He seems like a pretty legitimate source. He's got 19,000 followers, and he's followed by this Pumpkin 8 Easy and this Lawrence Leopard guys. I think that guy's pretty smart. So I think this guy knows what the hell he's talking about. So I'm gonna trust this source. You can always fact check and look around, right? You can do that on my videos. Fact check. If I say something, because listen, sometimes I mince words, right? I mean, a lot of the time, like 98% of the time I'm saying what's up, but sometimes, I make a mistake and I say something I don't mean, or I just don't know any better. But, that's just the reality of things. So it's roughly 1.2 billion digital silver ounces of open interest and about 300 million ounces. So that means for every 1 ounce of silver, there's 4 ounces of digital. So say you're buying from, Forex or like the ETFs and all that crap. There's on record, there's 4 to 1. So if everybody wants a fucking delivery from silver and gold, then fucking silver and gold is gonna fucking go way higher. So that's just the reality of things. It's my favorite new line. That's just the reality of things. So yes, you can make it worse by only counting register, but why bother? So he's kind of exclaiming that that's not a big amount of a leverage, which I can understand to a certain degree, but it's still a lot. If everybody wants their gold and they want their silver, then that's gonna cause a lot of price to go appreciate, because it's pretty much like when you got the 4 to 1, it's like basically like they're shorting the fuck out of like silver, gold, platinum, because it doesn't. So this guy's saying, I like this guy. So he's saying silver is closer to 200 to 1 leverage. So we were talking about different things here, I guess. So what does he say? Yes, trolls used to attack me all the time for only using registered metal and total leverage, as registered is readily convertible to eligible invite. So for the tweeting question, I only use total metal in the vault. Leverage, so that's wild. Futures contracts as well, because people who are in the know have talked about 201. They are currently about 240,000 COMEX silver at 5,000. That's 1.2 billion ounces of silver. Total palladium. So don't tell them that 200 own a gold ounce at the same time. Yeah, I mean, that's a secret, right? Everybody thinks that if they buy these ETFs or whatever, that they own a fucking like gold or a silver ounce. That's not the fucking reality of things. The reality of things is that there's thousands and thousands of ounces that aren't counted for. So 1.2 billion ounces. If that's 240,000, that's like almost a billion ounces of silver, and that's what people are missing. So look at the billion. Imagine if all those billion, they want those 240,000 ounces. That's just gonna cause such a chain reaction of the price of silver to skyrocket. So that's what's happening with fucking palladium. Palladium's now 78 to 1. 78 to 1, right? That's crazy numbers. So people, we're going to get into the article, and I'll try to come back to here. And, if I don't touch on that, leave a comment down below, and I'll, express my viewpoint. Sometimes I forget to get back to a point because, I'm just trying to run this shit on my own, and I'm not a perfect person, but that's just what's up. So this is Palladium's fading stockpiles draw warning of a prolonged deficit. Okay. Palladium outperformed all major commodities in recent years. Yeah. And I was looking into it a while ago. I even owned an ounce back when it was like $7.70, and I sold it because it went down. And then I just figured it was going to go back down to like $200, $300, $400. So, shit happens. As Palladium record-breaking rally makes guessing the size more important than ever, one thing at least is clear. They're getting a lot smaller. Inventories held by producers, investors, and users have been key to feeding a market that's faced supply deficits for the past 18 years. While this size is largely a mystery, Researcher Metals Focus estimates that stockpiles have almost halved in the past decade to equal about 14 months of demand. So I want to get to the nitty gritty, right? Nitty grits. That's my terminology. There's a lot of fat. I want I want the meat. I want the fucking meat. So stock in the has been a recurrent for some time. A swift solution to resolve the current tightness where when and indeed seems possible that it may be prolonged. So what's different around, and there's currently no delay in Russian jump more exchange traded fund holdings are the most visible numbers for stockpiled metal, but are just a fraction of total inventories. ETF holdings have slumped about 80% since mid-2015, partly as investors lent out metal at lucrative rates. So this is a chart that says holdings in palladium at end of each year. So you just look at, there's like very little amounts, right? So back in 14, that was like closer to about 50%. That looks about 3, and it was about, 18. So that's like close to 15%. And now it's like so small, right? That's like 78 to 1. So there's less ounces. So market players, right? So you just see these are just dwindling, right? So there's less and less. Even here, there's less and less. So it's, ETFs also wouldn't be able to cover shortage, and holdings have fallen to about 614,000 ounces, not much more than the roughly 500,000 ounce supply deficit that top miner MMC Norilsk Nickel PG has projected for this year. Oh yeah, just a company that I talked about a few for the last month or so, and I now have a position in. Maybe I thought about things. Yeah, the Russian producer has a palladium fund it uses to help meet customers' demand, and sold more than 1 million ounces from it between 2017 and in November. It said it would release 300,000 to 500,000 ounces from the fund in the midterm, but didn't elaborate further on timing or the size of the hoard. No one really knows the exact size of the stockpiles of London. The other problem is how much of that is being tightly held and not freely available to the market. So they're kind of bearish on this, maybe. But there's there's other articles that are talking about, because it's for catalytic converters, and these are one that are non-diesel. So now for new emissions, I don't know where the article is, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head, is basically for these emissions is that it's big all around the globe. You got they want cleaner emissions, so they need to have better catalytic converters in all vehicles now to pass emissions testing. So there's countries, Canada and USA, they do emissions, but in China and India, not so much. And there's way more people in those countries. China's got like 2, 3, 4 billion. I can't remember the number, but it's big. And then you got India, that's a billion. I think China's only about $1 and 1.5 billion, but I could be wrong. And India's around 1 billion. So that's a lot bigger than just North America. And that's what's up. So COMEX gold is 9.1 and COMEX silver is 4-1. So, if every one of these 9 people, they want their ounces delivered to them, only one of those 9 people are going to be able to get it. And if silver, if they want it, only 1 out of the 4 of these can get it. So, or for COMEX palladium, only 1 out of 78 can get it. So it's a fucking fraud. It's fucking bullshit. And this is how these fuckers are getting filthy fucking rich, by frauding the whole fucking world with this bullshit. But, the time's ticking, because the dollar's fucking worthless, because they're printing into oblivion. And, if you're printing, if there's more dollars in circulation, then everything should be worth more money. So that's what's up. Just giving it to you raw, uncut. I hope you enjoy this video. If you haven't hit the like, make sure you hit the like again. And, leave a comment down below. Subscribe. And, shaka. Good peace. I'm out.